Hi everyone, it's me, Andrea, and I'm here to kick off our brand new series, Creative Ways to Add Layers. Now, adding layers means different things to different people, so I'm going to show you what it means to me. Adding layers is all about paper, building layers of paper to create a wonderful project. So I'm starting here with this piece of patterned cardstock from our very old collection called Timber. And then I will bring in a new project that is from our Love Each Day CRICUT collection. I hope I've got that right. And I am just going to start by layering these two pieces. I have just simply attached the cardstock with a little adhesive down to my Versamat, and that'll help hold everything in place. So this CRICUT cut is from this puppy themed layout. It's a one-page layout on that CRICUT digital collection, and you can find it by clicking on the green CRICUT C on my website or your maker's website, and you can purchase it there. But it's a beautiful overlay. I did nothing other than bring the whole project in and then click cut. It was already sized properly. So I have cut these cute little paw prints out of some French vanilla cardstock, and I have a project in mind with pictures of our family puppy Ollie. You'll see that I have this big photo here, and it's too big for what the CRICUT collection had intended, but that's okay. I'm going to make it work for my photo. I don't want to cut down the photo any because I don't want to lose the way that Ollie's looking longingly at his ball. So I have cut out the banner pieces, and they're actually 2 layers each. Cut out a bottom layer with French vanilla and then the top layer in the appropriate color. So I've used some beautiful harbor color here and some scarlet and some toffee and some sage. I'm going to try to get that piece off. It's not working. We're going to leave it where it is, and that's okay. This is going to be a special little part that we're going to do later on, and that is what I'm so excited to show you. I'm going to create a custom shaker element in this layout. I'm going to set that aside though. I'm just laying the pieces here because I want to kind of lay out where the photos are going to go. So I want to know how big that custom shaker piece is down on the bottom and how much room I'm going to need. Now you could refer right to the actual CRICUT design space for proper placement. I am nowhere near my electronic device to be able to refer back, so I'm just going to go ahead and lay this out to the best of my ability. It's going to be just fine, even if it's not exact to the way that CRICUT had, close to my heart, had designed it on the CRICUT layout. So I think I had 3 banner pieces down here and then 5 up on the top. So I'm just going to play with them. They kind of don't move freely because they're getting stuck on the little paw prints on the overlay back there. But I love the overlays. I think layering is about adding different textures and all, and different pieces. It's bumping some up with dimension and leaving some flat. In this case, I'm leaving the little banner pieces down flat because I feel like we're going to have so many dimensional items on this layout. Really, this layout just started with that base of patterned paper and then a more subtle overlay for the next layer, and we're just going to continue building. And that's what layering means to me. Just, piece after piece that creates something wonderful. I like where those banner pieces are, and I've already put some little pieces of foam tape here on the back of my title, and I've adhered both layers of this with the sage and the harbor color together. And now I'm just going to play with this little best friend piece. Again, adhere the 2 layers together. This was a really quick and easy layout to cut on my CRICUT. I think that'll go really well right there. It doesn't hide the ball. Now for our shaker element, I found this triple bone image in our Close to My Heart artistry collection, and I modified it. I wanted the middle to be a little bit more open, so I contoured out the outside edge of the bone and then used the offset function to make the inside bigger. I then reinstalled that contour I had hidden and went ahead and I had the perfect image here to layer on the very top of my shaker. Now I also needed to create a bottom piece, so I simply contoured out the 3 bones that were in the middle, and it left me with just this outside shape. I've cut this out of linen. And I'm going to adhere this solid shape right to the base of our layout, just like that. And then I also took some craft foam that I bought at Walmart. It was like 3 sheets for $1. And using my CRICUT maker on the craft foam setting, I was able to modify. It wanted me to use a deep cut blade. I didn't have one. So I did have a craft knife though. Craft knife attachment for my CRICUT maker. So I went ahead and used that. I was able to adjust it to use that particular knife, attachment. And I put 2 layers of this craft foam together after they'd been cut. So that gave me a nice base to make this popped up layer of foam that I can then use, attach it to the base, can use that to make a shaker element. So I love that you can just go ahead and make any shape and turn it into a shaker element. Now, just use my tweezers to position it in place because the foam is not exactly, sturdy. It's a little bit soft and will bend and be pliable. So I just slid it into place with my tweezers. And I have some little pieces that you might notice came out of the banner. And so I've saved those. I've got a bucket full of things that I wanted to include here on film. So I'm just placing those little pieces down in here. I will note that I really did go around the edge of the foam shapes really well with the adhesive. This way, none of these little shaker pieces fell out. So I just grabbed the little bit of julep sequins that I have left, and I'm putting some of those in. However, I feel like I got too many in the middle, so I'm moving them over into the, the left and right little compartments here. I just thought that the julep worked well enough with the sage. It was a compliment and it gave it more color. So now we have those little hearts that are cut right from, the banners. Like I said, don't waste any of those little pieces. If they look like hearts, use them. So I'm just going to put a few more julep in here. And then I think I have just about enough of those. So I'm going to pick up the few random pieces that fell out here. And then I've got these glittery stars. We also still have these in stock, and I'm just adding some of those to my shaker compartments here. I love mixing our different sequins. Close to My Heart has a lot of great loose sequins and loose little embellishments. They make great shaker elements. Yeah, customize them. Make them match your projects. That's so much fun. So I like the way the little gold stars just kind of lit up everything. Here's a piece of acetate that I cut, the same as I did that very bottom layer of the shaker. I cut it on the acetate setting on my CRICUT. Worked perfectly. Just my normal, cutting blade that was in there. The acetate I bought from CRICUT at one point in time. I think you could also probably get it on Amazon. But I'm just once again putting down a good layer of glue around the outside of those bones so that this way it seals the acetate up. Now, you really have to let this set for a while because these items are not porous, but they will eventually, the glue, that green mono glue will dry and you will be able to move this layout. But I would give it a good overnight, chance to cure. So now I have these little pieces, little hearts that were also just part of the layout and a little bone. So I need to attach those down and figure out where I want to put things. But here's another way that I think you could add layers. There's some layers that when you add them to your layout or your projects really are kind of, they're there, but they're not. And so I have just pulled in some of our glitter gel and I'm just putting down some of that glitter gel right here. I think that it adds just another layer, barely noticeable, but it's there. So play with your mixed media supplies that you have in your stash. That is considered another layer of, of interest in your project. I'm going to pull out my close to my heart pickup tool and try to pick up these little cardstock hearts that I've cut out of the CRICUT and figure out where I want to put them. Again, since these are pretty bold elements, I'd like to kind of get them into a triangle, you know, that rule of 3, because sometimes your eye tries to pick out just certain elements like these little hearts. And so it'll be nice that they kind of move your eye up the page. I talk a lot about that, but I find that it helps having, you know, the same things in a triangular pattern. So I'm just picking up the last little one here and trying to put it onto the darker side. I eventually grabbed my tweezers. It was just easier than the pickup tool to get it to the right side there. And my layout is getting closer to being done, but I still have another piece in store when I wanted to pick it up and show you the shaker that we've created. Isn't a shaker element a nice way to add layers of dimension to your layouts? Just going to go ahead and glue down the last little element, the little bone here. And then we are going to go ahead and pull out one of our new stamp sets, and that will be our finishing touch here. Now I have our Live, Love, Woof stamp set. I have opted for the one that comes with the thin cuts, as you can see here. And I often cut out multiples using my thin cuts. This way I can stick the extras into the stamp envelope and have some for quick future projects. So I'm flipping my Versamat over here and just prepping the stamps. You'll see I've got some sequins stuck there. I'm picking up some of the oils for my skin, and that'll actually help the ink adhere to the stamp better for the very first time. So I'm just going to try to line that up. I generally try to stamp and then thin cut, but in this case I'm working just a touch backwards because I already had those thin cuts cut out for you. And there's 2 cute little dogs that are included in this stamp set, so I want to stamp one of each with my intense black ink, and I just want to make it look like Ollie. So Ollie has some pretty little ginger ears, so I pulled out one of our old watercolor pencils, and I'm just coloring in just a bit. Gave the little puppies a little dot, just like Ollie has on his head, and I'm grabbing my water brush here, just wiping it off because it looked like it had a little bit of a peach hue to it from our last project. I didn't clean it off well enough, and I didn't want his ears to be pink. So I'm just going ahead and giving that a little bit of a gentle brush, and the little doggy looks so cute. You'll see in my finished project that I did go ahead and color the little nose with a black watercolor pencil, and it just gave it the look that I needed it to have to kind of mimic the way that Ollie looked. So I'm just going to put those 2 little stamps down, and they are just another little level of detail here on my layered page, and I hope that you like it. Now, before you go, I want to talk to you because the creative design team and I are launching a brand new membership group. It's a monthly subscription group, and we are inviting you to go ahead and join. Membership will only be open for a short time through the end of March, so make sure that you get in before our doors close because we will not be opening them back up until the fall. So I'll put all of the links down below for you. Thanks for watching and have a creative day.